you win high value clients on LinkedIn in just 15 minutes a day. I'm going to be sharing three very specific things. But first, if you like to connect with me on LinkedIn, then this is my URL, linkedin.com/in/Neeraj Shah. Now, I'm a LinkedIn faculty member for the Genius U platform, and I'm one of the top 20 mentors. I'm also a global top 200 thought leader, and there's a power list produced by People Hum, which is an international organization. If you have the app, the LinkedIn app on your phone, then what you can do is click on the little QR code on the search bar, and I'm just pointing it out there, and point it towards the QR code, then you and I will be connected. And tomorrow when you are connecting with people, if you're making a presentation, this is a great way for you to expand your network. You can also include this in your business cards, or if it is in live situations, then you can just have that in your business card. But another way is obviously also through your email signature. So these are just little simple ways in which you can begin to utilize the LinkedIn QR code and grow your network. So first question, why LinkedIn? There are many, many reasons why you want to be on LinkedIn. Let me just share some of the key reasons. First of all, there are now 774 million users. And there's something very special about the kind of users that we have here. 4 out of 5 of these users drive decisions. So they're decision makers, or they influence decisions. Another important fact is that 44% of them earn more than $75,000. So it's a great combination to have. Decision makers plus high income earners. Okay, so that's the reason why you're able to win high value clients using LinkedIn, because it has so many of them there. 41% of millionaires are on LinkedIn. It has great organic reach, and I'm going to show you a little infographic about that. And it is something that allows you to be very hyper-targeted. You're able to search according to very specific locations and also job profiles. And I think this is one of the reasons why Microsoft, a couple of years back, bought LinkedIn for $26 billion. So you can see on the map there, there's a global map, and it's giving you an idea of which are the countries. There's about over 200 million users in Europe and 165 million in the US, and over 62 million in India, where I'm located. What about lead generation? Well, let's compare it with Facebook and Twitter. This was a little report put together by HubSpot when they looked at 5,198, both B2B and B2C businesses, and they found that LinkedIn completely outperformed Facebook and Twitter. As far as organic reach, these days, platforms such as Facebook and Instagram have become very much pay-to-play platforms, whereas LinkedIn still maintains an incredible amount of organic reach. So therefore, without paying to boost that particular post, you can get tremendous reach. You can reach a much bigger audience. You can see here this particular poll I had done, and I'm active on all these 3 platforms, and I have an audience which is active on all these 3 as well, and LinkedIn won hands down. So LinkedIn presents an untapped business opportunities for entrepreneurs and sales teams. Now, the thing that typically stops people from using it, they miss out on it, is because they don't know how to use it. And typically, I find that there are 3 reasons why people don't use LinkedIn in the way that they want. Number 1, they don't know how to be visible on LinkedIn. Number 2, they don't know how to approach people and build their network in a proactive, strategic manner. And lastly, they don't know how to turn these connections into clients. So let me take you through some key things that will help you solve all of these particular challenges. Okay, and these are the 3 profit levers that will help you win high value clients using LinkedIn. The first is you've got to optimize your profile, and I'll look at 5 specific things that you should be optimizing. Okay, I'll spend a little bit more time on 4 rather than all 5, but I'll take you through 5. And then I have a little gift for you to help you optimize further. Next, we'll look at the perfect prospect, how to find them and how to engage them when they are on LinkedIn to warm up the connection. And then we'll look at a little bit more on the messaging playbook. And particularly on this side, I want to look at content. How can you use content to really position yourself as an expert and generate the kind of clients that you want? Okay, so we'll dive into each of these 3 into more detail. So let's have a look at first, how do we help you build a killer LinkedIn profile? Because this is, take for example, you put a comment on someone else's post, okay? If they like the comment, they're going to click on your profile, okay? And this is an opportunity for you to build credibility quickly if you know how to set it up correctly. Here's some other stats that you need to know about. Typically, if you type your name into Google, it's very likely that your LinkedIn profile will come up first before any of the other profiles. And the reason for that is that LinkedIn is completely optimized for Google search. Okay. Next thing, LinkedIn by itself is a search engine. There are 6.7 billion searches being done on LinkedIn. People may be looking for you and your specialty, your product, your service. And if you don't show up, then they will go to a competitor. And lastly, when people are doing buyer research, particularly if you are dealing with mid or larger level companies, they will do buyer research. And this is an incredible stat. 67% of B2B buyers will check out your LinkedIn profile before buying. So for these 3 reasons, we've got to make sure that we really have an awesome profile. So these are the 5 key things that will make an awesome profile. I'm going to go through each one of them one by one with some do's and don'ts, okay? So first things first, the most important part of your profile is your profile photo. And it amazes me to this day why people don't upload their photos. So let's look at some amazing stats. Profiles with professional headshots receive 14 times more views, 9 times more connection requests, and 36 times more messages. So there we can see the stats really tell us that we've got to get this one right. In fact, this is the first thing that people will look at. So these are all great LinkedIn profile headshots. And I'm going to show you an incredible tool which will rate your current photo and any photo that you decide to use and check whether it is actually going to be a good photo using artificial intelligence, AI. Okay? But there are some key things that you've got to get right. Okay? First things first, it's going to be like that passport format. Your head should cover about 60% of the round circle. Okay? It should be a little bit of your shoulders should be there. You should be dressed appropriately. How would you expect to meet with one of your best clients? Be dressed appropriately. You want to have a neutral background. You don't want lots of it noisy or a lot of text or something like that, okay? And you want to be looking directly in the camera, and very important, smile, 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 okay? Likability plays a huge factor in whether someone is going to engage with you or not, okay? So believe it or not. Now, let me show you an awesome tool that will help you rate your photo, okay? So you might want to take a screenshot of this, okay? Snapper.com, that's SNAPPR.com /photo analyzer, okay, photo-analyzer. Now, if you go to this site, this URL, okay, and click on Analyze My LinkedIn Photo, it will actually connect with your LinkedIn profile. You'll have to enter in your username and password, and you will get a score out of 100, okay? So what you want to do is make sure that you are scoring at least 70 or above. Now, I'm going to just show you my screen, okay, so that I can, whoops. Okay, here we are. Okay, so I've done this already, and you can see I've scored 75 out of 100. And if you scroll down here, you'll see a full analysis, okay, below. So, you know, the face, and you can see here, on my smile, it's actually rated me badly. I've only scored 49 out of 100, okay? Now, if you click on these other things, you know, it will give you more information. So it's not only rating your photo, but it's helping you understand what is good and what needs to be improved. So here, you know, you can see the composition of it, you know, the background, all sorts of things, the editing, the brightness, contrast, all of those particular things. So it really is an amazing tool, and it really does make a big impact. So here you can see this is my LinkedIn profile, and one of the first things that draws your eyes is the human face. Naturally, we are attracted to the human face, okay? So I'm curious to know what people are scoring. Maybe Tal, you can let me know some of the scores that are there. And you can drop them in the chat and we'll have a look at those.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
If you already tried it right now as we speak, just put your score. I just did mine, and I have 76.
What's your score?
76.
Woohoo! Awesome.
Yes.
Very good. So
you can put in the chat what's your score, and we'll keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's keep it moving on. Let's look at some mistakes not to make. Let's look at from the top left, and then we'll work across, and then we'll come down to the bottom left. Okay. So no group photos. Okay. You are the star attraction. We only want you. Number one. Second one in the middle at the top. Okay. No dark glasses or anything like that. That also is not maybe appropriate dress. And even if you're an athlete or something like that, you want the photo much closer. You need to be able to see the eyes. The one on the top right, it's the mean and moody, black and white. You can hardly see one of the eyes. So it might be great for a photography competition, but not for LinkedIn. The lighting has to be good, and you need to be having a smile. You can't scare people off. Bottom left-hand side, even if your wedding day, you were in the most amazing look, still, it's just not appropriate. So avoid those. If you're a doting parent like me, you again don't want the photo with your children or your family. And then this is an interesting one. The one at the bottom right, it's sometimes I've seen people use a picture, a logo or something like that. It's not really for that. It's for your face. People want to know who they are connecting to. It helps create that personalized connection. Okay, next part of the LinkedIn profile is your LinkedIn profile banner. Okay, and where is the banner? It's the one in the orange rectangle. Okay, so this is a client of mine, and he's done this very well. So a couple of key things I want to point out. Okay, he's using it to brand yourself. Think of it like this. LinkedIn has given you a billboard. If you decide not to load up anything on this, then you're literally wasting that opportunity. So you'll see here just above his profile photo, he's got his Kale Capital, which is his company and his logo. Then to the right, he's got a photo of himself, but then it's got an interesting picture because it's got a bull and a bear and it's in the stock market. He's a stockbroker. And then to the right, he says, who does it help and how does he help them? So helping senior corporate professionals and business owners create wealth. And then he's got the two keywords he wants to be found for, which is stockbroker and financial planner. So this is a great example of one. And then the blue and etc. is part of his corporate colors. So this is how you can use it. Okay. This is another client of mine from the gifting side of it. Now, just one thing I just want to let you know is that on the desktop, it looks a little bit different compared to when it's on the mobile app. Okay, so in the mobile app, what happens is your photo, the profile photo, moves to the middle. So you don't want to have text in the lower middle part. Okay, this is mine here, and I've used some key search terms there as well. Okay, and the key thing here is that you want to look at it. Will the content amplify your authority, credibility, and expertise? So I've got some pictures of myself with some famous people, a famous entrepreneur, founder of Mind Valley, the world's top leadership coach, and then me presenting on the stage at Mind Valley. So these are all things that will help build my authority, credibility, and expertise. So it must attract the end target market, the ideal client that you are trying to reach out to. Okay. Of course, we don't want this sort of mistake, which is, you don't do anything or just have a photo, which is like a landscape photo or something like that. You're missing out on an opportunity to brand yourself. Okay. So 2 key action points here. Update your optimized profile photo. Make sure it's above 70 on the Snapper score, and then update your banner to amplify your credibility. Next, let's come to the LinkedIn profile headline. I would say that this is the most important part as far as the LinkedIn algorithm goes and people searching you goes. It's one of the most visible parts of your LinkedIn profile and a major factor in the search algorithm. So where is it? It is literally under your name, and it's the words that you use here. So in my case, I've used some key search terms, and I do change it depending on what I want to highlight it. So if you have a look at it now, it's slightly different, but it's got the right search terms: LinkedIn expert, social selling expert, etc., digital marketing coach. Okay, so typically, what would your end ideal target market be looking for? What are some keywords? What do you want to be known for? Okay, so these are the things that you want, and you'll notice that I haven't actually put my company name or my job title here. Okay, and you can use that in the experience section. You don't need it here. Okay, you can have up to 220 characters, okay, not words, but characters. So each letter is a character, and even an emoji or a space is considered a character. But you can also put at the end, who do you help and how do you help them? So in my case, I put there, I help consultants win high value business on LinkedIn. Okay, so imagine it's like a strap line, your very shortened elevator pitch. Okay, so I help, who's the target market, and then what's the key result that you help them achieve. Okay, so these are the things that you want in your LinkedIn headline. What are things to avoid? Do not use things like title, for example, CEO, marketing director, all of those things, because you can use that in the experience section. Do not use TLAs. What are TLAs? 3-letter abbreviations. I'll tell you a quick fun story. One day I was talking to this professor about SMEs, and I thought, in my language, SME stood for small and medium-sized enterprises. But as I talked to him, it became clear he was talking about a completely different SME. So I said, Professor, what do you mean by SME? He said, subject matter expert. So here we were both talking about three-letter abbreviations, but each one, although we were using the same three-letter abbreviations, we meant something completely different. Another thing to avoid is, don't use industry jargon. Remember, you want to attract clients who through a much simpler, easier, straightforward language. Okay, so these are some things to avoid as far as the headline goes. So action point, revise your headline with a relevant keyword. Okay, now we come to something that used to be called the summary section. And often when I visit LinkedIn profiles, and I've seen thousands of them, these are the ones, this section is the one that has very little on it, or people might be having a short paragraph of 3-4 lines. Okay, this is your about section. Think of this like as being your sales page. If someone is genuinely interested in working with you, they will read this. So there's some key things that you've got to do here. Okay, use short paragraphs. You don't want more than 3 lines per paragraph. Okay, you want to use the full length. You can have up to 2,600 characters, and that's pretty big. Okay, so try and use the full length. I've used some key headings like what I do, how I do it, why it works, the services I provide, where you've seen me to build credibility, the kind of businesses I work with, what others say about me, and what to do next if people want to reach out to me. Okay, you've got to have these particular headings. Another thing is use bullet points or icons or even emojis, but use emojis sparingly. Don't go overboard with emojis. Okay, and this will help draw the eye and be able to just people are able to read it easier. Initially, people just scan. Okay, and then as they find things interesting, they will stop and then they will reread it. Okay, so make it easy to scan. And at the end, you've got to make sure that there's a very simple and clear call to action. What would you like them to do next? Is it to send you a DM? Is it to book a coffee using a particular link or email you or whatever the case may be? Lastly, make sure it is prospect facing. So again, it should really attract your ideal client. Okay, so you can have a look at mine for more details. I'm not going to go so much into depth because we have a lot more to cover. So I hope you're all finding this of value. Okay, and again, the about section should amplify your authority, credibility, and expertise. ACE. Think of it as that acronym. You want to ace it. Okay, so that's what you want. Now, you don't want this to be like your CV. Okay, and if you are an employee working at a company, then there's a slightly different format that I will suggest, and I would suggest that you reach out to me. But again, don't use it as your CV because your experience section essentially typically looks at your CV. Think of the about section as being something like your cover letter that you would send together with your resume or CV, okay, which impresses the employer. Now, if you were in sales, you would want to have a very, customer-facing about section. But if you work in other departments, then you want to look at in terms of, what are some of your key strengths and what do you bring to the table in terms of the job that you do. Okay. Again, keep it simple, no industry jargon. Don't write in the third person. Write things like I am, I love, things like that. Not, Neeraj is, as if it's been written by someone else. It just creates a disconnection. Use all 2,600 characters and don't miss out the call to action. Okay, so these are some of the key things that you need to have in place for your about section. Lastly, one of the key things, just like how you have Google reviews or Yelp reviews, people read reviews when they're not sure or when they're considering whether they should continue to work with you. Then you want to have social proof that you are good, and LinkedIn recommendations is a great way to do that. Okay, so if you kind of scroll down towards the bottom of your profile, then you can see that. And here you can see someone's given me, and you want something quite recent. So you can see this one's given to me in August. So this month itself, and you can see I'm now about 70, and I have 2 more pending recommendations to have a look at. And what you can do is you have to first make sure that you are connected to that person. So it could be a past client, it could be a current client, okay? And you want to click on, where it says ask for a recommendation, okay? That little gray pencil icon. And then you can type their name, you can type what sort of relationship was it, were you working in a team together, were you reporting to them, they were reporting to you. There's many different combinations and permutations. So you can decide which one's relevant, and then send them a personalized little message, saying what you would like them to talk about. And typically, if you give them some direction, they generally will do that. So you want a strong set, you want at least 5 recommendations minimum to become an all-star LinkedIn profile. And therefore, the LinkedIn algorithm knows that you are serious, and then will begin to show your searches, you in LinkedIn searches, will show your content to a bigger audience, etc. Okay. So action point: identify 5 current or past satisfied clients and ask for a recommendation. Okay, so I hope this all makes sense. Profile photo, profile banner, the headline, the about section, and recommendations. These are 5 of the most important things. There are many other things as well, but I would say that these are the 20% that will bring about 80% of the results. I have a little gift for all of you as well. If you go to this particular URL and you can take a screenshot of it, you will be able to get an ultimate LinkedIn profile checklist. It takes you through some 8 specific steps with examples, and it's available for you free as a download, and then you can audit your profile against it and make the changes necessary. Okay, so check it out, ulp.neerajshah.me. Okay, cool. Let's keep it moving on. Okay, now let's look at perfect prospects. How do you find the perfect prospects and engage them? So let me show you first how you can use the LinkedIn search algorithm to actually help you find. Okay, so again, quickly, I'm gonna go to LinkedIn now. Okay, and here in the search bar, you can put some inverted commas and say you are looking to connect with a CEO, or another word is managing director. Okay, and you put them in inverted commas so that LinkedIn specifically searches for those terms. Okay, so if I click return in the search, it will then begin to show me people who are having these in their titles. Okay, so here is someone, and then if you're not connected to them, then you have this connection button that you can click. But before you do that, you want to actually check their profile out and see, what is it that they do, who do you have in common. So you can see this particular person, I have a lot of people in common. You can look at what exactly they do. Okay. Awesome. Okay. And you can see he has a lot of followers and things like that. what's he done previously, all sorts of things. Okay, so these are all great things, and if you think yes, this would be a good person, then I'm going to suggest before you send them the connection request, I would just save his profile somewhere. Okay, have a little spreadsheet. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to engage with their posts. So I'm going to just show you some strategies that will help you. Okay, so we've just identified how to use search to find the right people. Okay, then the second step is to visit their profile. Okay, to do some research to see who do you have in common. Are there some other things in common that you have? There are talking points that you can start a conversation with. Okay, so one of the things I saw on that gentleman's profile was that he studied at IIM, which is one of the top universities here in India, but he's also studied at Harvard. He's done some course there at Harvard Business School, so at Harvard University. So just it, these are all talking points. And then if he's posting, then I can begin to engage with his post. Because if I leave some thoughtful comments first on his or her post, they're going to get a notification and they'll read it and they'll want to check out your profile. Okay, and that's the reason why you want to make sure first that you have made sure you have a good profile which impresses people when they come to it. Okay, and then if you send them a connection request and say, hey, I really enjoyed one of your recent posts and I'd like to add you to my network, then you'll get a very high connection acceptance rate. Okay, so this is a simple 3-step formula that you can use, and you will immediately become more visible to your target audience while you are actually kind of inverted commas stalking them in a good way. Okay, not in a bad way. Okay, so I hope this was really useful and you like that. Now, one key mistake I've seen happen, and it turns people off big time. I've even seen people in their connection request putting in a sales pitch, or they send a nice connection request and then immediately the second message is a sales pitch. Okay, do not sell. Okay, because you're going to turn people off. You actually need to start conversations and you need to know how to make small talk. Remember networking events, when you used to initially meet someone, you don't go straight into a sales pitch. It just turns people off. It makes you look a little bit too desperate, okay, too salesy. You want to ask a little bit about them. Who are they? What do they do? How long they've been in that line of business, things like that. And once people are feeling comfortable saying, hey, I noticed that you're doing this and I think I can help you. Would you be more interested in finding out more? If they respond back, then you can continue the conversation. Okay, so don't make this connect and pitch mistake. Okay, the key thing is comment, like, visit the profile. That gets the engagement going. Look at articles that they may read. What are the groups that they're part of? Know your prospects, because the more you know your prospects, the better the conversation is. Okay, and you're able to then have a much more not only personalized connection request, but even the conversation that flows is more relevant. To get people interested in you, take an interest in them. This is one of the key parts of social selling. Okay, people, need to understand that there is something called the KLT formula: know, like, and trust. And it goes in that particular sequence. You can't go from know to trust. Okay, it's like when you meet someone and on the first day you want to propose to them. it's probably not going to go down too well. Okay, so you want to take it easy and look at it going to the next step, which might be, okay, would you like to go out for coffee or something like that? But obviously, we want to change it to the business circumstance here. This is not a dating site, okay? So I hope this makes sense here, okay? So identify 5 people you want to connect with, visit their profile and gather intelligence, and begin to engage with the posts and articles, and leave some meaningful comments, okay? So this is a simple way for you to connect and become visible, or become visible to them and then connect. That's better, okay? Okay, lastly, let's look at how we can help you profit. And one of the best ways in which we can help turn these connections into clients, turn contacts into contracts, okay, is by using social selling principles. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And you've got to be visible, and it's a process. Then you've got to show that you are an expert and can solve problems that your prospect has. This builds credibility. And then you can look at when you want to convert them as a client, then there's some different kinds of posts that you can do, which will help people say, yes, I'm interested in your product or service. And then you can continue the conversation. And it goes in this particular sequence, and you can't miss the sequence. One of the best ways in which you can do that is through posting on LinkedIn. There are many reasons why you should be posting on LinkedIn. Okay, I'm just sharing 6 here that are important, but I can actually take you through about 20 if you really want to. But number one, it starts conversations. And this is a social network. It is a business network. And conversations are the new lead, as Ryan Dice, a top internet marketer, says. Number two, you can share value. And when you share your expertise, people love that. Okay. That can help you build trust if you can show that, yes, you understand the prospect's problem and you have a solution and you're able to help get results. Okay. You can demonstrate your expertise through case studies. You can further develop relationships by leaving good comments and engaging with the comments that people leave on your post. And then you can actually transition this to helping you generate new business. So let's look at some of the kind of posts which seem to work well right now. Okay, this is a very short content post. It's a text only, no image. And you can see that it was a quote by a rapper, and it got about 10,000 views. It had 23 likes, 10 comments. So this is one platform where these short text posts actually seem to do well. Okay? This is a longer text post, again without an image. I've tagged my company, but I've also tagged 2 clients of mine, and then I put a question there which gets engagement. Are you part of a mastermind? And if you'd like an exclusive invitation to attend our next mastermind meeting, then type mastermind below. And that is a call to action. So this, if people are interested in that, then they will get in touch with you, and then you can strike up a sales conversation. Next, this is a quote or a photo post, okay? So this one is related to marketing, but even using your own photos or using non-stock images really works well. And this one is actually highlighting some expertise. And in this case, I'm one of the founders of LinkedIn. I've mentioned his name, and I've given some input on a quote of his, and I've given my own 2 cents worth about it. And this became a trending post in marketing, which is good because I want to be known for someone who is good at marketing. Okay. Another kind of post that does well is a video post, but don't make them too long. This is a very short video, but you can see it had some 15,000 views. It was only 16 seconds. Make sure that you do a native post. So that means directly upload the video onto LinkedIn. This is a document post, so this is like one of those things you can, like a slide deck, and these do very well. So you can see this one got some 75,000 views. Okay, and some key actions here. First, 3 times a week. I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. First during working hours, and you can tag relevant people. So these are all things that will help you. So I hope with these 3 things that I've covered, how to optimize your profile, who to connect to and how to connect to them, and using posts. I hope you're now excited about LinkedIn. You have some clear strategy that you can use, okay? If you've not yet connected to me, then you can connect here at this particular URL, okay? And we now go to Q&A. So I think I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If you've not downloaded that, you can take a screenshot of that, ulp.neerajshah.me.
Okay, thank you so much. Feel free to write your questions right now. I sent in the chat Niraj's information, so you can contact him, and also his free gift for you, and also BigViz information if you need it to download it or ask questions. And as we are waiting for the coming questions, we already had one. Let me find it. We have a general question.
So how can I grow my LinkedIn? Okay, so what I'm not sure. I think if it's network, then you've got to identify the specific professions or industries that you want to, and type that in the search, and then it will begin to show you people from that industry or with that profile. You want to try and connect with people who you already have a number of connections together. And then again, as I said, check out their profile, make sure that they're the right type of person that you want to connect with, and then begin to engage and then reach out with them. So that would be good. I can see there's a whole ton of other questions.
Yeah. We have a question about the background.
Yeah. So how can you change your background of your photo? There is something called remove BG. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you that particular app, and it will help you remove the background. So let me just give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. Oops. Give me a second. Yeah. So if you can see here, this is remove the background image. It's remove.bg, and all you need to do is upload your photo here, and it will automatically remove the background. So, and it's done automatically, and it's 100% free. So that's something cool that will help you do that.
Yes. Okay, we have a question about the headline section.
Okay. For the headline section, can it be keywords you'd be using to connect with like-minded prospects? Yes. Think in terms of what would they be typing into Google if they were looking to solve a problem? What are some of the problems that they're trying to solve, or who are they looking for? So in my case, obviously, people would be looking for someone who's a LinkedIn expert or a LinkedIn coach or a LinkedIn trainer. These are words that I've identified. But at the same time, you want to look at some broader ways. I've not used LinkedIn throughout. So, I've used broader terms like marketing coach, business mentor. because those are, again, things that are part of my expertise. And I know that people look for me uh, using those terms. So, these are some things that you can do. And plus, you can also click on your profile to see how people have found you. There is something called My Dashboard, and you can actually click, what were people searching for uh, when they found you. So that will help.
Great. We have a personal question
Mhm.
about your use of of LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. So, Amrita, I've been on LinkedIn actually since 2005. I'm an early adopter. I was on a online network which helped me grow my business network called Academy. But then as LinkedIn came in and I started to see LinkedIn, I started using it. But I would say that it's only, I would say, last year that I got like super serious about it. I already had a good following and etc. But I went really deep into it and I said, right, I'm going to use this now to grow my business. And at that time, around March of last year, my business was mainly offline trainings only within the Mumbai area, which is the local area that I'm in. LinkedIn has allowed me to now get clients from all across India and, in fact, all across the world. And, so it's been a key part of helping me go from local to global.
Great. So thank you so much for this helpful workshop. I think everybody learned a lot. And I want to thank all of you for coming, and of course you, Niraj. And we'll
My
see you
pleasure.
in the next workshop.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
everyone.
Thanks so much.